scientific discovery.
I'm here in order to show support to my Venezuelan sisters and brothers and others that are protesting against
New York Times, stop the lie! Don't support Washington cry! New York Times, stop the lie! Don't support Washington cry! New York Times, stop the lie! Don't support Washington cry! New York Times, stop the lie! Don't support Washington cry!
New York Times, stop the lies!
Don't support Washington cry! New York Times, stop the lie! Don't support Washington cry!
New York Times, stop the lies!
Don't support Washington cry!
New York Times, stop the lie! Don't support Washington cry! New York Times, stop the lie! Don't support Washington cry!
New York Times, stop the lies!
Don't support Washington cry!
New York Times, stop the lies!
Don't support Washington cry!
New York Times, stop the lies!
Don't support Washington cry!
New York Times, stop the lies!
Don't support Washington cry!
New York Times, stop the lies!
Don't support Washington cry!
New York Times, stop the lies!
Don't support Washington cry! New York Times, stop the lie! Don't support Washington cry! New York Times, stop the lie! Don't support Washington cry!
New York Times, stop the lies!
New York Times, stop the lie! Don't support Washington cry!
Okay, let's start the song. Guys, I just want to say thank you very much to everybody for being here with us. To support Venezuela, to support the revolutionary people of Venezuela. Thank you very much for being here with us. To denounce the New York Times liars. You know, there is a newspaper, there is a journalist in Venezuela. His name is William Newman. William Newman is very similar to that rat that is over there. And he is working in the New York Times. And he is lying about Venezuela. Every time that he is writing and publishing in the New York Times, he is lying about Venezuela. And he is a fucking rat. Look at the rat that you are looking at, William Newman. So we are here right now in support of Venezuela. And we have been fighting meter by meter, block by block, in every single dirty corner of the city, supporting the Bolivarian Revolution. And we will be here fighting for the Bolivarian Revolution for more than 15 years more, because we have been fighting all over, already 15 years for the Bolivarian Revolution. We have been here fighting in winter, in summer, we have been fighting in spring and fall, and we have been fighting for already 15 years, because all these attacks against the Bolivarian Revolution has been taking already more than 15 years. And we have been in the street denouncing the New York Times and all those journalists that are here, and the New York Times that are very similar to that fucking rat that is over there. So we are here to denounce them and to support the Bolivarian Revolution. So thank you very much for all of you to be here today in support of the revolutionary people of Venezuela, in support of the Bolivarian Revolution, and because we know the role that this newspaper plays. They shape the public opinion, and in order to shape the public opinion, they receive all these horrible reports for supporting objective NGO that is fully working and taking care of human rights around the planet. And it's Human Rights Watch that is an agent from the State Department. That's what Human Rights Watch is. So, and then what they do? What Human Rights Watch do? What they do? They against Venezuela, then the New York Times made echo of those reports, and then the State Department, the White House, and the Congress of the United States used those opinions on this newspaper to attack Venezuela, to implement sanctions against Venezuela, and then, in the worst of the cases, to use the army against Venezuela. So we say that the New York Times is a weapon of the USA State Department. And it's a weapon of the USA State Department because we have to remember that they didn't tell us anything about what's happening in Iraq. They lied to us. And now we know that Iraq doesn't have weapons of mass destruction. The weapon of mass destruction is the New York Times and Human Rights Watch. They are weapons of mass destruction because how many Iraqis have died already? How many American citizens have died already? How many people have been killed in the name of democracy and liberty around the planet? And the New York Times is lying to us. Not only that, the New York Times had the guts, to support the coup against President Chavez in April 11, 2002. So they support the coup. And then, when they realized that Chavez was coming back to power, they said, oh my God, we make a mistake. No, they didn't make a mistake. They were doing what they always do. They were supporting the State Department. This is a structure, international structure. We are talking about international structures that are built to oppress the people of the entire planet, poor people on the entire planet. And this is one of those structures. The New York Times and also Human Rights Watch is one of those structures. We have also to remember that this is not the first time that they lied to us. They lied to us when Amadou Diallo was killed. Do you remember Amadou Diallo? Do you remember how they lied to us? And you know that those policemen that killed Amadou Diallo, because his only crime was because he was an immigrant, black, from Africa, living in the South Bronx. He was killed by 41 bullets by 4 white policemen of the city. And the New York Times supported them. The New York Times supported the police department. We are here to denounce them because it's a weapon of mass destruction, not only outside of the country, but also here against the people of the United States. You remember when Anthony Baez was killed? You remember Anthony Baez? That they were saying that was something, he had asthma, and that's why he died. They didn't, in the beginning, say that basically he was killed by a police officer named Francis Levoti. Took to this moment years, months of struggle to demonstrate to the society that Anthony Baez was killed by Francis Levoti and put Francis Levoti on jail. That takes months, I would say years. So that's why we are here, to show solidarity with the revolutionary Venezuela, but also to show solidarity to the people of the United States that are victims of this infrastructure that is attacking and oppressing our people. Thank you very much. So I just want to invite Tyner. So we have a friend with us. He was with us. I was thinking that was in 2003, denouncing the so-called oil strike, supported by the State Department. Robert Tyner.
Well, I'm so glad we're out here today, all of you. Give yourself a hand, really. It's wonderful. You know why it's wonderful? Because here we have a nation in our hemisphere that is pledged to take the money from oil and end poverty among their people. That is pledged to activate all those who are left out of the economic and political life of their nation and bring them into the center of things. Because the people are the most important element in that society. And here in our country, we got a Congress that refuses to do anything about poverty. We've got a president who has a State Department that wants to overthrow Venezuela, but they don't want to overthrow poverty in New York. What's up with that? So we have to say, Venezuela is taking the wealth of oil in their country and has told the American people, you can discount oil for Venezuela. Now, is that a crime? Is that a bad thing? Well, why does the New York Times think that Venezuela is a bad country? It ought to be condemned and isolated. I say solidarity with the people of Venezuela. I say thank you to the people of Venezuela for their contribution to world peace and to their contribution to economic and social justice. That's why we're here today. And it's the highest act of patriotism, to stand against imperialism. And that's why we're here today. Freedom, people, freedom.
Okay, everybody, just wanted to say thank you again. I'm Hector from the Baldwin Circle here in New York. And next will be Ike. And Ike is a longtime activist, and he has a few words to say.
On behalf of the Cuba Solidarity Movement, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. When a demonstration like today, it reminds me of a saying of a great revolutionary that once said about the New York Times that they tell the truth about the small things so that they can lie about the big things. And Venezuela and the changes taking place in Latin America today are a big thing, because it represents the mobilizations of working people to bring about real social and political change, and that necessarily, given the history, is something that runs counter to the interests of U.S. capital and the U.S. traditional U.S. political domination in the region. Now, the term human rights, like so many great terms, has been expropriated by people that turn it upside down. Groups like Human Rights Watch. This is a group that began because of the tremendous crisis in U.S. credibility in the 1960s and 70s after the Vietnam War, a genocidal war carried out by Washington. All the military dictatorships put in power in Latin America, with hundreds of thousands, millions killed in Argentina, Chile, Haiti. You can just go on and on and on. And in those conditions, the credibility and the political authority of the United States was in the toilet. And groups like Human Rights Watch, which began as an arm of the U.S. State Department, were trying to rebuild that kind of credibility and to steal the term human rights. They would put an equal sign between the murderous death squads in El Salvador and in Guatemala and maybe a minor human rights violations by the revolutionaries that were fighting against those regimes. It's like putting an equal sign between lung cancer and the hiccups. But that's the way these groups operate. Human Rights Watch has not denounced any of the 250 or more peasants that have been murdered by large landowners in Venezuela. They have not denounced the violent demonstrations carried out in Venezuela in affluent communities against the interests of working people. Human Rights Watch, which hates the Cuban Revolution, has not condemned the fact that 3,500 Cubans have died in attacks from U.S. soil since the revolution triumphed. 3,500, that's more than the amount of people that were killed in the terrorist attacks of 9/11. You won't see that. It's one-sided human rights. Almost all of Human Rights Watch's condemnation of so-called human rights violations is aimed at Cuba, Venezuela, Ecuador, Ecuador, Bolivia, governments that are in conflict with the United States and which are trying to do things in the interests of the working people of those countries. You don't hear Human Rights Watch condemning violations in Haiti, in Colombia, in the real vicious regimes that violate human rights. Thank you very much. I'm getting a little passionate here, but this is very important. It's great that you came out today. This is a long-term struggle. We'll be out here as long as it takes to fight for justice, as Malcolm X, who was the first person that used the term human rights, and they stole it from him. The great Malcolm X, who said that we will fight for freedom, justice, and equality by any means necessary. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ike.
Human Rights Watch should be renamed Corporate Rights Watch, Profit Rights Watch, because that's why they exist. They exist for the rights of Wall Street to exploit and loot the world. And they mark as a criminal every people's movement that stands up for a better future and a better life for all of us. And that's why they target whether Hugo Chavez or now President Maduro in Venezuela, and it's why they targeted President Aristide in Haiti. And it's why Human Rights Watch targets Egypt, and it's why Human Rights Watch was responsible for the phony sarin gas report in Syria. Everywhere, Human Rights Watch is about corporate rights, profit rights, and the U.S. State Department line on every single story. It's about always backing up whatever propaganda and whatever lie that we're being told that we have a new enemy. And we have to reject the lies, stand for people's struggles, and stand with the people of Venezuela who are using their oil, those petrodollars, for people's needs, for health care, for education, and also contributing it for people's needs right here in the U.S. What country is doing that? The United States isn't. When they actually heat homes from Venezuela with their oil revenue, that is real people's action. So we're out here to denounce the lies of the corporate media, led by the New York Times, the biggest liar of them all. And we're also out here to denounce Human Rights Watch, which again and again has used this name with an organization that everyone would agree with. Who wouldn't agree with human rights? And yet the organization is really about defending the rights of corporate power on a global scale. So down with corporate rights organization. Down with Corporate Rights Watch. Thank you.
Woo! Okay, Julia. Okay, we're going to get organized now, guys, so we need some people up front.
I'm not from Venezuela, but I'm here because I'm pro-democracy. I cannot believe the dictatorships anymore, but I'm not surprised. In 1 year, how many coups they supported? But I cannot believe the Human Rights Watch, the Human Rights Organization, they are supporting dictatorships. They are destroying the democracy. 4 times. This is the 4th time now. Number 1 in Egypt, they supported it. stands for.
Freedom for the rich, nothing for the poor.
That's what Human Rights Watch stands for.
Freedom for the rich, nothing for the poor. That's what Human Rights Watch stands for.
New York Times, stop your lies. Venezuela will survive. New York Times, stop your lies.
How are you?
I always think that like, I don't know if the millions of word, but you know, when you have a chance seat at the march, you're like, why do they? Now I see it's actually a good starting point to have. Like, no, I don't think they have that attention, but that's what I'm saying. I think they're pretty
La lucha sigue, sigue.
Chávez vive, vive. La lucha sigue, sigue. Vive, vive. La lucha sigue, sigue. La lucha sigue, sigue.
Chávez vive, vive. La lucha sigue, sigue.
Guys, he's not just here to sign. I know it's hard.
Stop your lies!
Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped.
Human rights will stop the lies!
Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped. Human rights will stop the lies. Human rights will stop the lies.
Human rights will stop the lies!
Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped.
Human rights will stop the lies!
Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped. Human rights will stop the lies.
Hey guys.
Human rights will stop the lies. Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped. Human rights will stop the lies. Human rights will stop the lies.
Human rights will stop the lies!
Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped.
Human rights will stop the lies! Human rights will stop the lies! Human rights will stop the lies!
Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped.
Human rights will stop the lies! Human rights will stop the lies! Human rights will stop the lies!
Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped. Human rights will stop the lies. Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped. Human rights will stop the lies. Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped.
Human rights will stop the lies!
Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped.
Human rights will stop the lies!
Bolivarian revolution will not be stopped.
Human rights will stop the lies!
How about that? Hands off Venezuela.
Hands off
Washington, D.C., and you see the architecture of the city, and you see all these fancy buildings with all these fancy columns from the Roman Empire, they are telling us with the architecture that they are the empire, and they, here
Ramsey Clark, the former Attorney General that has been of the United States, that has been supported Venezuela, the revolutionary people of Venezuela, for years already have been shoulder to shoulder with the people of Venezuela. Thank you, Ramsey.
The saddest part of the whole show is that Human Rights Watch chose to attack the one leadership in government that has done more for the human condition in the Western Hemisphere in the last 20 years than any other government on earth. We have to ask, is that the reason you did it? He's done more to elevate the health, liberty, everything is needed to have a decent life in the poorest countries of the hemisphere, and ask nothing in return but to make it a better land. And for this, a great humanitarian leader was attacked on a human rights basis by an organization that calls itself an agent for human rights. What a tragic confusion. I hope that Human Rights Watch will give the apology. It can't overcome the hurt that is done by this attack on the one leadership in government. We've done more to give hope to more people in poverty in the Western Hemisphere than anybody in my lifetime. And that goes way back, as you can tell by looking. So let's try to turn this around and be honest and recognize the tragic human rights condition that exists throughout the United States. I just came back from Colorado in the Supermax prison that out there Saturday and Sunday, seeing a great American who has lived for some years now, about 150 feet above the surface of the land. The guy that I knew first was H. Rat Brown, a great American, and now, having converted to Islam, a deeply religious man. There he is in this great land, out of sight and out of mind. A football field under the Rocky Mountains. Unbelievable. Just think what it cost to dig the elevator shaft through the rock. But our real purpose here is to say that the leadership of Venezuela, under Hugo Chavez and under even more difficult circumstances now because of the greater attack, because Chavez was a warrior and invincible, under President Maduro, has tried harder and done more to leave the human condition in the hemisphere, on which all human rights ultimately depend. You know, writ of habeas corpus isn't worth much to a bag of bones. Liberty and economic justice necessarily go together. So let's be on the positive side and hail great contribution, historic contribution, Hugo Chavez and the people of Venezuela that made for liberty in this hemisphere. And long may that revolution live. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ramsey. Ramsey Clark.
Yo soy Chavez. 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 Yo soy Chavez.
Now, I want to introduce another friend that has been with us for a long time, that has been fighting shoulder to shoulder with the Venezuelan people, Michael Warren.
Thank you, Willie. Willie, I heard you talk about how Human Rights Watch refused to agree to accept the letters that would be given to them by Ramsey and myself and perhaps others. That didn't surprise me, because criminals, especially international criminals, have never been able to accept the truth.
That's right. Yes.
The truth has been always too much of a notion for them to accept. And that's why we are out here today, because we are representing the masses of people, not only in Venezuela, but all across the world, who are oppressed primarily because of the American government and because of the institutions in other countries that are controlled by the American government. The American government is the belly of this awful diabolical beast. And that is precisely why Human Rights Watch, in that not accepting the letters that contain the truth, have allowed themselves to be subjected to the roles of a diabolical tool that promotes the aims and objectives of a diabolical American empire. The Venezuelan government, the government of Hugo Chavez and now Maduro, is a government, as Ramsey said, that promotes institutions that protect and work in the best interest of the people. That results in free education, that results in free health care, and it results in the general benefit of the people, which is something that the elite of America and these neo-elites created by the American empire have never been able to accept. But it is up to the people to maintain these systems that promote the best interests of the masses of people, and that's people like us. And that's why this demonstration is so important. It doesn't surprise me that Human Rights Watch has taken the position that it did, and it just as though it did not surprise me that the American government was a central part of an attempt to assassinate Fidel Castro in Venezuela, was an essential part of an attempt to protect criminals like Luis Posada Farias, who was responsible for killing innocent victims on a Cuban plane. Innocent victims that simply had nothing to do with politics, but was simply a part of a very proud government that brought about its successful existence through revolutionary struggle. There is no difference between Cuba and the Cuban model and Venezuela. And there is no difference attitudinal-wise between the American government as it reacts and responds to Venezuela and the Cuban government. So it is up to us to continue this struggle, a very righteous struggle, and to expose organizations like Human Rights Watch, to expose other organizations that have allowed themselves to be illicit surrogates of promoting the aims and objectives of the American empire. So we will carry this struggle on Human Rights Watch, whatever floor you are on up there. We will carry this struggle in the streets. We will form alliances with other comrades wherever they are to make sure that the ideals of the Bolivarian Revolution is protected and the people whose interests that serves in Venezuela are protected, just as the interests of the people in Cuba are protected, and just as the interests of the people everywhere whose rights are assaulted by the same elite institutional regime are protected. Thank you very much for inviting me here. It's my pleasure to be a part of this.
Chávez no murió, se multiplicó. Chávez no murió, se multiplicó. Chávez no murió, se multiplicó. Chávez no murió, se multiplicó.
Chávez no murió,
se multiplicó.
Chávez no murió,
se multiplicó. Chávez no murió, se multiplicó.
Chávez no murió, se multiplicó. Chávez no murió, se multiplicó.
Chávez no murió, se multiplicó.
So that's why we made an extra effort here, because we wanted the image there that reminds us Human Rights Watch. That big rat reminds us Human Rights Watch. So it reminds us the New York Times, all the rights. That's why we make an extra effort to bring
those images here so people can associate the right things, you know. That's right, to associate Human Rights Watch with that rat. So we want to call also Suzanne Ross from, Suzanne, where are you? From Mumia Coalition. Thank you.
Greetings. I'm very, very proud to be here with everyone who's here and everyone who's spoken, and really glad to see the rat identified with Human Rights Watch. These liberal, supposedly liberal, human rights organizations have gotten away with murder for years. For years they have pawned themselves off as supporters of human rights. And I really appreciate this opportunity and think they handed us a gift. You know, sometimes you have to look at things and turn them around. Human Rights Watch just handed us a gift. The gift that allows us to expose who these hypocrites and liars are. They're no friends of human rights.
No, they're not.
They don't represent justice. They don't represent anything positive. They're a bunch of slimy characters working with the State Department, lying for years, working with the Pinochet regime in Chile, always on the wrong side of history, and claiming to stand for human rights. No, they're a bunch of rats. That's what they are.
That's
a bunch of rats. They're the enemy. These people should not for a moment get away with being seen as progressive and liberal. So we have had this wonderful opportunity to unmask these people and to let the world know that we don't fall for this kind of bullshit. We don't fall for liars. We don't fall for people who try to fool us. We stand here today with the revolution of Venezuela, with the history, the great contributions of Chavez, with the continuing struggle of Maduro. We stand unequivocally with them. I know I speak in terms in representing international concern, family and friends of Mumia Abu Jamal, and I know what love Mumia has had for years and years and years for the Venezuelan revolution. And we have appreciated the great support that the Venezuelan government and the Venezuelan people have again and again given us when we visited. And just recently, the ambassador in Grenada, the ambassador from Venezuela in Grenada, called on Mumia's birthday, to wish Mumia a happy birthday. That's the kind of international solidarity we stand for, not their kind of bullshit, sellout, total capitulation to capitalist and imperialist interests. No internationalism in the sense that we believe in internationalism. They're a bunch of slimy characters. And the rat represents them. Thank you, rat, for showing the truth today.
Chávez vive, vive, Maduro sigue, sigue. Chávez vive, vive, Maduro sigue, sigue. Chávez vive, vive, Maduro sigue, sigue. Chávez vive, vive, Maduro sigue, sigue.
So we want to have our friend Chipper to come here, so to say a few words in solidarity with Venezuela, with the revolution.
All power to the people. All power to the people. My name is Brother Shep. I'm a member of the original Black Panther Party in Harlem. I'm also, at this point, the Minister for Community Affairs for the Universal Zulu Nation worldwide. And we do have a chapter in Venezuela. I'm coming here basically in terms of support for the hip-hop nation throughout this planet. Being part of Zulu Nation, we know what goes on in Venezuela with the oppression that is taking place with the youth and the young people, because that same oppression is taking place here in the United States for those who support Venezuela. Since 2009, we have been working hand in hand with the Venezuelan government in terms of hooking up our Hip Hop for Humanity tour, which was to kick off in Venezuela, but have come up with all types of roadblocks to stop that.
Rebel Diaz, one of our premier hip-hop groups, was just recently shut down. Their office was taken over. In terms of us, our office at City College, the Morales Shakur Center, was shut down. So the enemy is moving on hip-hop, just like they whitewashed 5 Points in Queens, which was the mecca of graffiti art. And we just heard that pig that's in office now, Mr. Bratton, talk about a war on graffiti, which is what we call street hieroglyphics. That's our own art form. And it's not going to be stopped. Neither is our support for Cuba, for Venezuela, and for any revolutionary formation on this planet, because the people will make change. And there's nothing that this fascist government here or their racist pig forces can do to stop us from doing that. The youth are coming. I'm telling you, I work with them on a daily basis, as old as I might be. But they are coming, they are aware, and they are moving. Long live the Bolivarian Revolution. Long live the spirit of Hugo Chavez. And we will support Venezuela until they stop messing with it. All power to the people. Viva Venezuela.
Viva Venezuela.
Well, we have just one more speaker. We want Sarah to come here again because she has an excellent proposal. And I already spoke to Ramsey and Michael, and they are willing to do it.
Well, Human Rights Watch, which is really Corporate Rights Watch, and Wall Street Rights Watch, has refused to accept this petition signed by hundreds of real human rights activists around the world, the real fighters for human justice. So since Human Rights Watch won't receive us, we're going to deliver this petition to the rat. Because the rat today stands for Human Rights Watch. And we're going to paste this petition right in the rat's hands. Because that's the message we want to explain to the world. How do these institutions of U.S. corporate power exist? And they're given endless media. The New York Times will cover again and again a full report from Human Rights Watch. Every lying detail, again and again. Every country. Could be Egypt, it could be Haiti, and again it's been Venezuela. So we know the lies of these institutions are really meant again and again to defend corporate power. That's the rat right here. So let's deliver this letter. Let's deliver this petition right now.
Human Rights Watch! Shame on you! Human Rights Watch! Shame on you! Human Rights Watch! Shame on you! Human Rights Watch!
The letter will be delivered to the Rabbi Ramsey Clark, Michael Warren. Yes, to the Rab. So, do you have any tape to state the petition? Yes.
It's ready, it's ready.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, we have tape. To stick the petition to the Rab that represent Human Rights Watch. Because they are not willing to receive the petition. Ramsey Clark, former Attorney General of the United States,
Human Rights Watch! Human Rights Watch! Human Rights Watch! You are
going to deliver the letter to the Rab. That is Human Rights Watch.
Human Rights Watch!
That's why we are delivering the letter to the Rab. Because they don't want to receive the letter.
Human Rights Watch! You are a rat! 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 Human Rights Watch! You are
Come on. So the wrath of Human Rights Watch already has a letter. Thank you very much to everybody to support the Bolivarian Revolution. And we will be delivering more letters to the Human Rights Watch. And we will be fighting against Human Rights Watch live. And we will be coming, we will be visiting them. And this is just the beginning. Because this is just the beginning. Because we will destroy the institution. Thank you very much.